there's another issue today for monetary policy. SEEK's employment data shows wages growth has increased 4% for more than 6 weeks in a row. I believe that's above the RBA's forecast. So is this going to add to inflationary pressure?
Yeah, look, I think this is the here and now when it comes to the labour market, and that is that the unemployment rate is at 3.7. Full employment, we think in the current economic sort of environment, is around 4 or 4.5, i.e. we're creating upward pressure on wages. The SEEK numbers, which had been pretty stable at around 4%, just under, similar to the wage price index for a little while now, are now starting to pick up again. And I think this is the issue. It's not that Australia's wage pressures aren't coming through and heading upwards. It's just that it's happening gradually because we've got a very regulated labour market. So I think this is a worry for the RBA, and it puts their forecast of a peak growth of wages at 4% under some question mark.
Now, we've got a chart we can put up here showing output and new orders. This is from last week. But what is this chart? It's on the screen now. What's this showing us here?
So this is the flash PMI for September. Came out, the Judo Bank PMI. It's one of our global suite of indicators. It just shows you, though, the last data, after 4 months of slowing, we're now seeing a pickup, particularly in the services sector. And this is critical for the Reserve Bank at the moment. They need the economy to slow. They need inflation pressure to continue to come off if rates are to stay where they are. I mean, this talk about rate cuts is way too premature. The issue right now is whether or not we're going to get away with a 4.1% peak cash rate. And this data, along with a whole run of data in the last few weeks, is suggesting the RBA's job is not done yet.
Now, this week, there's some big economic news coming out. We've got the monthly inflation indicator for August. Now, I just looked at Bloomberg's prediction. They're expecting inflation could lift from 4.9 up to 5.2% during August. I mean, how big a worry is this for the new governor of the RBA, Michelle Bullock?
Yeah, well, she's come in and, as I was alluding to, just there's work to be done. The economy is not slowing quick enough, and this is highlighting, and I think the August figures will show, inflation's probably not coming down enough. We know that the oil price and record petrol prices here are going to play a role in terms of pushing headline inflation up. That doesn't help, but that's not the real issue. The real issue is the underlying core inflation pulse. That needs to be coming right down towards 4% by the end of the year. We're going to get a better insight into that with these August indicator on Wednesday, but I think it's the Q3 numbers at the end of October that are really important for inflation.
Yeah, these monthly numbers, they are a bit volatile, but I think the ABS is getting better and better each month at putting out those figures. And it seems like the RBA and lots of economists do take those monthly figures pretty seriously now.
Oh, very much. And there's genuine information in there. And we got a softer number in July, and that was a bit of a surprise to me. This number is very important. I mean, enough things start building and pointing to the need for another rate hike. You know, is this going to tip them over the edge? Retail sales later in the week. She's got her first meeting, Governor Bullock, her first meeting next week. I don't think anyone's expecting her to hike rates, but that's where we're headed in that direction.
Yeah, retail sales on Thursday. I mean, how has consumer spending been holding up?
In nominal terms, that is the value of it, it's basically still sort of growing slowly. It had a big step down at the end of last year, and it's actually going okay. Because of inflation, that means real retail sales are falling a little bit. But population growth and the fact that we've still got job creation, employment still growing, is keeping a floor under consumer spending. These numbers, and every month, is going to be critical because, as I said, the RBA needs the economy to slow, and consumer spending is a critical part of that. So far, the evidence is that consumers are actually hanging in there pretty well through winter. This will give us some insight into the latest, into the August numbers.
So can we still get to that soft landing?
I think we can get a soft landing. I just think it increasingly looks like the soft landing is going to require another 1 or 2 rate hikes before the end of this year. The worst thing we can do is just think we've got the job done and then come out of summer holidays into 2024 and realise the economy's picking up, inflation's not going to its target, and then the RBA has to take the cash rate up to where the US is at 5.5%. That will not result in a soft landing. So I think a soft landing is still the main view, but another rate hike is probably required.
Warren Hogan, thanks for your time.
Thanks, Ed.